booties for black girl nerds.
It's so nice to meet you, Jeanine. How are you?
I'm good. So nice to meet you too. Thanks for chatting with me.
Of course, I'm so excited about season two. I had the chance to watch the whole thing. So, yeah, it was so exciting. And you, of course, were incredible. And it's just so cool to see you growing within this show. And it's just amazing to talk to you.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I do feel like I'm just I feel so lucky to grow with her, and it did feel like so much growing this season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, what I really was thinking about was kind of the difference between season one and season two. And, season one, Eva starts like very wide-eyed and full of wonder. And by the end of season two, she's really endured so many highs and lows. And I really wanted to know, how did you tap into that evolution? And how did you keep her spirit consistent throughout?
Yeah, thank you. That was for me the both the easiest and the hardest thing. The easiest thing was sort of connecting to my 16-year-old self. Like I feel like she's with me most days, like all the time. So for me, I love that that's like an easy place for me to go back to the peeling back the knowing a bit and like just getting jazzed about like the curiosity and the discovery. That is an easy thing for me to tackle. But the hard thing was sort of when we're in a session, sometimes jumping back and forth between stuff, like sort of finding the way in which she's growing and her vocal quality is aging and her understanding is cataloged a little. That was a tough thing to try to honor and do right by. But I feel like you get so lucky with this kind of writing and character development and the stakes being so high. Everything is so amped up this season. These like, yeah, it is life or death sometimes in these moments. So, um, connecting to my scene partners who are seasoned, voiceover actors, and what was really that made it a lot easier.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. And yeah, like this season has so many new discoveries, especially like Eva finally gets to meet other humans, which is so exciting for her. And, something that she's longed for a long time. And I was curious, what was it like voicing that excitement? And like, how do you think those interactions really changed her, especially since, before she was just trying to figure out who she was?
Hmm. Yeah, I think she her brain goes a mile a minute and then suddenly it's like she's onboarding way too much information. She like walks into New Attica and it's like the posters and the ways of eating and dressing. She's never thought about the way her clothes. She's never had optionality there. So I was really proud of the way that she still just stays so connected to unraveling the mysteries and finding more out about the why that they are there and that New Attica has formed and then that leads to just more unanswered questions and curiosity about um, yeah, about what is it that happened in the first place to put humans in this position. So she does a really good job. I would be just like overwhelmed by all the details, and she is like, "That's so cool. I'm gonna put clothes on pause for a second, and what's over in this corridor?" You know?
Yeah, just so many ways to just kind of figure out how she fits in. And it's such a cool thing to see. And something that I was really curious about you is like you're an actor, you have a dance background, which is amazing. I'm a dancer too. I think it's so interesting how like as a voice actor, like I feel like because you have that dance background, you're so used to using your physicality to express yourself. I was curious, like, how do you adjust to expressing everything just through voice? And do you ever find yourself using your body, even like in the booth doing the recordings? Like, how does that translate for you?
Oh, absolutely. And it's like a necessity for me. I simply can't do it without now. I am proud of my work in season two, and I noticed a difference from season one to season two in sort of my voice being dropped into my body a bit more. And I think it's because I got much more comfortable moving around the soundstage and doing what I needed to do to get into my body. I mean, silly things like I realized like I essentially record this in like workout clothes and athletic sneakers because it is like so physical, and I don't quite know a way to fake, like riding a whale that's flying through the sky without like a little jump every now and then, or going onto your tippy toes and having that actual feeling of your stomach coming up. So I was very lucky that I had Bob's Gannaway, our showrunner, who's been doing this for forever and is like a legend in the field. And he was so like, yeah, move around the space, like do what you need to do. And these incredible engineers here at Outlaw Audio in New York that helped me. Um, and now I just sort of have like a system set up where it's the right amount of movement that makes me feel like, okay, I'm connected to my instrument, and you feel that in the voice and in the quality of the voice.
Oh, that's so amazing. And that's cool how you actually kind of move with the actual actions. That's really cool. I can just like picture how that would be, and that's amazing.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so glad I asked you that. That's cool.
I am too. It's like I I nerded out about, we have like a whole um catalog of me doing different noises and jumps, and every now and then it'd be like, hey Jeanine, we noticed like we don't have enough surprise sounds from you. And so we're gonna do a run of that like at the end of a session. And so that's not something I knew they did in voiceover. But somewhere, at Skydance and Apple TV Plus, there's like a file of me doing like every expression you can imagine in like 5 to 10 different ways. A little more scared, but it's a short, sudden scared. Like, that specific. It's wild.
Yeah, my last question for you that I was really curious about. Unfortunately, we can't talk about like a lot of the really major things that happened this season because of spoilers, and we want everyone to enjoy it. But I was really curious. Like, I was told that there's going to be a third and final season, which is very exciting. What makes you like most excited about that opportunity to unfortunately close out the story, but also, really just tie a bow on this journey and yeah, like what excites you about that, just that opportunity?
Oh man. Yeah, I love that. I love that knowing, like that knowing that it's a trilogy. And with something like this, I'm a book nerd, and I love reading, and I love that the avid fans of the book series have the purity of the book series, have, as Tony, who wrote the series, has spoken about, WondLa, the series, the TV series. It's like getting your favorite characters and getting to rewrite a new ending. We have that, and you have the satisfaction of it being complete, and it being a thing that, like a book, we get to revisit and spend time with, and love it for its journey, and getting to stick a landing. It's so rare in television, and so I'm so grateful to just sort of be a part of the search for Wanda's greater legacy with this animated series.
Oh, that's amazing. And I really hope I can speak with you again for season three and we can continue our discussion. And it's so nice to meet you again, Janine. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, we will absolutely speak for season three. I'll make sure. And it was such a pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Harry, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so well. We're big fans of you, of my outlet.
Yay, us!
Yes.
Now, how are all the black girl nerds today? Is everybody okay? Are they all
Yes,
holding
we're
up?
good.
Good.
Good, good. But yes, my name is Alyssa, and I'm super excited to talk to you about WondLa season two. I loved it so much, and I was a fan of season one as well. So
Hey, so have
congratulations.
you've gotten to see a few episodes of season two yet, or no? Have they?
I've seen everything, everything.
Oh, yay!
Yeah,
Fantastic. Well,
yeah.
by the way, let me just drop this so everybody knows who's listening to you guys. Friday, April 25th on Apple TV Plus is when season two will start. All seven action adventure packed half-hour episodes. I I first of all, I love the show. Uh, I I was talking about it, and we went through such a creative process, especially at the beginning of the show, making sure that it was true to Tony's books, the guy who wrote The Search for WondLa, the 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 books, the New York Times best-selling book series.
Yeah.
Um, so we went through so much trying to make sure it really had the right vibe, and that it could carry on screen, from like voice changes in the character that I'm playing to learning some of Rovender's original language. So
Yeah.
we've gone through quite a journey, like she is, to get to the place that it is. So I'm super proud of it, and the people who are involved in it.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, so you play Rovender, and he has one of the most emotionally complex arcs on the show, especially this season.
Yes,
And
we find out a lot about
yeah,
him, which really does, Alyssa, tell why why he treats Eva the way he does.
yes.
When he and Eva first met, like he didn't want anything to do with this kid. She was annoying to him, just get out of his way. And till okay, I'll help you, but you got to help me, and then that's it, nothing else. To now, it's definitely closer to a father daughter relationship. But we do find
Yeah.
out through his loss what he's been through, and that really does foreshadow why he treats Eva the way he's treated her all along. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful relationship, and she really gets to help him out in this
Yeah.
season. Really show her love for him. So it's a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, I really wanted to know how you approached Rovender's transformation from season one to season two, especially since now he's way more open and he's a little bit more, willing to reconnect with his community in this new
Yeah.
season. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, I think the beauty is that relationship that Rovender has with Eva, of them really giving to each other, which is family, and which is what this whole thing is about, home and family. And that's what I love about it so much. That really giving to each other and kind of giving each other the stepping stones that they each need along their path to recovery, or finding what it is that they're looking for, or that comfortable place or people that make them feel good about themselves. So I season two is so much more of him being vulnerable
Yeah.
and just allowing her to help him as much as he has helped her. And also for me, it was just that understanding of the way he treated her in the beginning, which is the way a lot of people's families treat them. I I was talking to someone saying like some of my acting friends are like, yeah, my parents did not understand. They didn't want me to be an actor. They told me to go into computers, and I was like, they were kind of probably trying to protect you from being hurt by the business. And Rovender kind of treated her like that. I think he did not want to lose anybody else in his life. So first, like, I'm not going to let you into my life, so I never have to lose you. And but then now that you're here, definitely, I do not want to lose you. Do not make any missteps. But as a father, I know you got to let your kid make some missteps. You got to let them grow. You got to let them adventure. So it's a very nice fatherly. It reinforces my belief in a father or mother, a parent and child relationship, I guess, like what it can be and what it should be.
Yes. And I was really curious about because this season does open Rovender up so much with his past experiences. What was it like voicing those more vulnerable moments? And, because, having it be animated, it is kind of an interesting
It's
method of showing those emotions.
Yeah, in general, I think that voiceover is one of the easiest jobs in the world, to be honest with you. But there are days when I left this booth as Rovender when it was like, holy crap. He has been through a lot, and you have to put that in there emotionally. I am very good at, once I open this booth and the door, to let that go. But while I'm in this booth, like, there are days when I have been sweating at the end of this thing, and just mentally, emotionally exhausted, honestly realizing what your guy has been through, what he has lived through, and where he is now, and trying to build back. So it can be a little taxing on you, you know. You have to learn to compartmentalize, but that's the only way to really bring it to life, to make it mean something, is to be able to experience it in that moment.
Yeah, and I had one more question for you, and it's a fun one. So I was wondering if Rovender had a catchphrase or a motto by the end of season two, what do you think that might be?
I just think his catchphrase always, it's not even something I've ever thought of till you just said this. I think this is his eternal catchphrase. Because he's always, especially with Eva, getting pushed a little further into something he doesn't want to do, but he knows he needs to. Okay. I gotta. Here we go. I think that's his eternal. Okay, I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Yeah.
I just think that's him. But now it's a more hopeful, more hopeful thing. But no matter what, he's always a little bit put upon, but he knows he needs to do the right thing.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree. And I love this show so much. And season three is something that I'm already waiting for, even though the show hasn't come out yet. But
I want
I'm
see. I
super
want.
excited.
I'm waiting for season 25. That's my. I need 25 years of Eva and Rovender going on. That's.
Oh, I think we all do. And I am so thrilled that I had the chance to speak with you today, Gary. And I really hope we can speak again
Thank
soon.
you. We can. We can
Yeah.
do it.
Thank you.
No pleasure, Alyssa. Thank you.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to start because this is probably the first time I've talked to two people that have had so much influence on like the media that I consumed when I was younger. So I think that's really special, and it's even cooler because I'm watching WondLa as an adult, but I love it just as much as I probably would have as a kid. So it's a really cool thing to talk to you.
Awesome. I know,
Yeah.
honestly, Lisa, when I found out that Bob's created and worked on the Mickey Mouse
Yeah,
Clubhouse, my daughter Sophia loved, like, I was like, dude,
as
come
did I.
on.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And I annoy him by singing the song all the time. And then I go, Bob's, do the voice, do the.
Oh, that's so cool.
No, it's
Yeah,
a
it shows that have been on for so long, but everybody can have a chance to enjoy them. It's amazing.
And I'm only 20, which is what's weird.
Me too.
Weird. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Well, I had some questions for you about this new season, and I really enjoyed watching. So I had a lot of questions. So, season two expands the WondLa universe pretty dramatically, especially with new Attica and Eva's encounter with other humans for the first time, which is very exciting. How did you approach scaling up the story while keeping it emotionally grounded?
Wow, great question. That's for you, Bob's.
well, no, I mean, no, I think that Tony as well. It's like the at the end of the day, Tony provided us with such a great. Again, there's two angles of attack. There's just the world is beautiful and large, and there's that the fun of expanding the world. And in the second season, like I said, I don't know if we even go any place the same places we went first season. There's more characters, characters that carry over, but it continues to grow and get bigger. But all that's for naught if there's not the meaning behind it and the themes and the storytelling. So
Yeah.
so Tony provided us with all of those threads that we were able to explore, and because it's a series, we have more time to sort of go deeper into them. So I mean, Tony, you can talk about sort of like thematically.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you read the first book or saw the first season, one of the big thematic threads is family and what constitutes family, and is family your flesh and blood, or is it people that you find along the way in your life that you love just as much and hold in a place in your heart just as much as family? And I think the second book, as it is with the second season, kind of flips that idea on its head and says, okay, so now here's your some flesh and blood family. And surprise, they don't see the world quite the same way that you do. They see it through a different lens, or they just flat out disagree with you. And that was something that I felt was important to me, you know, 10, 15 years ago when I wrote the book. And I think it's something that's really important to us now as a society. So those concepts, when I'm writing a story, I don't necessarily put a message in the book, but I think of these ideas and these themes, and I just explore it through different characters. And Bob's and the team understood that, and they wanted to embrace that same kind of moral ambiguity that's really becomes more prevalent in the second season and will continue to do so in the third and final season.
Oh, yes. I would love to see that. I think that's incredible just how there are some subtle lessons because I do find that this show is kind of for older kids, especially, with some of the characters and some of the action sequences. But I think that's super valuable. Um, and since you mentioned family, I did have a question about Rovender's backstory, which is kind of explained in a lot of different ways, and it kind of shows why he kind of was the way that he was in season one. He's a little bit more opened up now,
Yeah.
um, especially with his reunion with his community. Why do you think this moment was important to include, and how do you think it reshapes our understanding of him and kind of his ways of dealing with the world, since he definitely sees it differently than Eva?
Well, I think we're all the heroes of our own story. We're all on a hero's journey. I mean, we're all going through life and experiencing and reacting. And when our paths cross with other people or other characters, we may get an impression, and that impression is informed by how we interact with those other characters. But it's in that moment of their life and what they may be going through, and we may not be fully aware of it. And so that was always my plan, and was in the second book that Rovender basically was inspired by Rooster Cogburn from the story True Grit, this kind of grizzly, rough cowboy type that lives out in the wilds, and this annoying girl is following him around. But then I knew that I wanted to find out why he was the way he was. I wanted to know his story. I wanted to know what broke him, essentially. And so again, it's there in the books, and Bob's and the team were like, yeah, let's go for that. Let's tell that story because it's not a pretty story. It's a tragedy.
Yeah. Bob, did you have thoughts on that? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. That I mean, Tony nailed it. But I think it's beautiful also because at that point, Eva is really seeing Rovender as like, as the sort of father figure that he is, but she's really embracing that as she brings him, journeys to take him home, and then um, you know, journeys to help him heal with his home, which is kind of thematically we talked about a little bit. Like the first season is about family. Well, it's about many things, but there's an overarching idea of this family. And second season, one of the overarching sort of ideas is home, and how you define that and how Eva defines it.
Yeah. I mean, Eva's presented with two surrogate fathers basically in this season, Cadmus Pryde and Rovender. And so and they each offer her different things, and it's that her figuring it all out, which is part of a coming of age story.
Yeah, and making those different decisions and which path to follow, I think is so important too. And I was thinking a lot. I know we can't really talk about spoilers and things like that, so I'm gonna be careful. But the best thing I could say is like season two ends with a pretty major twist. And I really wanted to know how early did you plan on that reveal, that ending, kind of how you developed that way of, I don't know, just showing audiences that part, but also like, what do you think it means for the future of the series? You said there's going to be one more season. Kind of, yeah. How did that go for both of you? I'm curious.
I mean, well, Tony, you can talk. I mean, what's lovely is we conceived this all at one time from beginning to end through all 3 seasons. It wasn't like, oh, let's throw ourselves a curveball and then figure it out, which
Yeah.
happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
No, it was all part of it's all part of the plan. Not that the plan doesn't, best laid plans, right? But we had already had 3 books, and we were able to lay out the whole series. So we knew early on how season 2 was going to end, and how we're going to sort of and lay the seeds for season 3. Again, talking somewhat vaguely about it, but simple. But if you look at the idea of home, listen, the idea at the end of the season 2, she does for a moment return to the safety of her home, or what was once her home, right? Even, and so that was all again, that was all part of the plan, but that said, you adopt and change and iterate and explore and discover as you go. If you lock into a story early on, that's not good either, right? Because now you're forcing the characters to do things that, Tony, in a book, all of a sudden they start talking and they start doing things like your kids, like, hey, come over here, what are you doing over there? And like,
Yeah.
got to let them do their thing too. So but you generally kind of try to keep them keep some guardrails on the story. So yeah.
But I think this is a
rewarding, I think we'll have a rewarding season 3 that I think will be satisfying. Go,
but I think this is a great example, Alyssa, of the adaptation process, because the season 2 doesn't end where the book 2 ended. So it's that you're compressing and you're choosing what plot events have to happen that are in the book, and then and how that relates to the theme and the trajectory of the characters, and then also how do we time it as a season finale of a television series. And so I think that when whoever it was that hit upon, like, let's end it on this point in the book, we were all like, oh my gosh, that's going to be awesome. That's a great idea, So, hopefully it'll work. Hopefully audiences will agree.
Well, I certainly agree. Just whenever, even just when last season ended, I was just like, oh, wow, like I have to watch more. Like I'm so engaged with this. And both of you, incredible work on this show. And I really appreciate your time. And I hope we can chat again for season 3, because I'm probably going to have more questions.
Let's do it.
Amazing. Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Thank you. Thanks, Alyssa.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.